I'm here to honor my parents, so first I want to thank you all very much for coming to the 50th anniversary. This 50 years, of course, is very significant. 50 years, as you probably know, is the Yobel year. That's the Jubilee year, basically. We have each year is divided into, the 7-year cycle. The last one is always the Sweet year, which is considered very holy. After 7 cycles of 7 years, the 50th year is the Yobel, and that's an extremely important one. What's also interesting about that, and it's kind of relevant to my parents, of course, is one of the most famous lines when they talk about that, is that it says we should proclaim liberty throughout the land and to all the inhabitants thereof, so to speak. That, of course, is on the Liberty Bell, which comes from, which is, of course, in Philadelphia, where my parents are from. So that I thought was an important point to mention, even though it's not really apropos of anything. Now, we're kind of between two parsons right now. So we're between Parshas Noach and Parshas Lech Lecha. And what's interesting is both of them, of course, talk, at the very end of Parshas Noach, talks about Avraham and Sarah. And Avraham and Sarah, of course, are really featured in Parshas Lech Lecha. Now, my father's name is Avraham. My mother's name is not Sarah. However, Avraham does mention about Sarah that she is, where they translated it is, now I know that you are a good-looking woman. And the Hebrew for that is Mara, Yethas Mara, right? The word Yethas being a constructive that is based on the word Yafa, which is my mother's Hebrew name, so I think it's relevant. Now, you can notice a lot of interesting parallels between Avraham and Sarah. For instance, Sarah in Lech Lecha. Avraham, of course, grew up in Haran. And where he grew up, he had certain challenges, but he had basically been able to conquer the challenges there, and God wanted him to do something more. So God told him, I want you to leave. Come out and go to Eretz Yisrael. Well, he didn't actually say Eretz Yisrael, right? We see the prophet, it just says, you should go where I lead you. And where did he lead him? God led him to Eretz Yisrael, near the Mediterranean Sea. Now, you'll see again some interesting parallels between my parents, because they, just like Avraham and Sarah had left, they left Philadelphia, or this region, basically, where they both grew up, and went to the Pacific Ocean. Far west you can get. Now again, the parallels are uncanny, because the Pacific Ocean is so much like the Mediterranean. I can give you 3 interesting ways. Okay, in Hebrew, what's the word for the Mediterranean Sea? They refer to it as Yam HaGadol, the Great Sea. And what is the biggest ocean that we have? The Pacific. Okay, number 2. Mediterranean means right middle of the world. There's a Gemara that says, how do you measure the universe? What's the center of the universe? And really, you should measure it wherever you personally are. That's the center of the universe. Where are we all? We're all here in Southern California, near it's noted that Rashi notes, right? We refer to the sea in the creation story, right? When we say, well, really, there aren't seas. There's one big giant sea. But Rashi points out that we call them different because the fish have like different tastes in each sea. Now, the fish of the Mediterranean, this is an interesting fact, and Jacob, who's, if you're studying biology, I think he will agree with me on this. The fish in the Mediterranean and the fish in the Pacific both taste fishy. So basically, the point is, my parents are very much like Avraham and Sarah. They, and now that's trying to make this actually relevant. Avraham, of course, in Eretz Yisrael, Avraham and Sarah were known for their generosity. I think my parents are very generous people. They've definitely been able to show a lot to the shows that they've been in. They helped the Kiddush. My father helped set up the coffee, and certainly people attest that he did a very good job the show for that. And basically, I think that's one of the things that they really do show is a lot of generosity towards the community in general, and hopefully it's something that I've been able to internalize. They have, in the case of Debbie, definitely a really great family, a lot of patience, a lot of great children, right, Sarah? Okay. And I talk about her son's family too, but I don't like to state the obvious. But basically, they're just wonderful people, and I really appreciate seeing all of you here to honor them.
And now a few words from their granddaughter, Sarah. She's unplanned, so she said something inappropriate, I apologize. Just that. Anyway, I thought my brother-in-law actually did a very good job. There's not much for me to rehash. I really appreciate having become a member of the family, all the help we get and support for them with the grandchildren. Obviously, we have an interesting family that needs a little more support than most, and it's been a lot of years of me with you and the rest of the family together now. Really appreciate all you do for us, all you do for the community. Really glad we could put this on for you. It's been nice to see that everybody came to support it and show you that we really appreciate you. So with that said, we'll let you guys have your turn.
Thank you all for coming. All I can think of is Shepiano, Monica, Hibiano, Lesman Hazet. We're both cancer survivors. Bernie's a heart attack survivor. The big word is survivor. We intend to continue surviving, and we are very thankful for all our friends. Really thankful for all of you coming tonight. And I don't think we're not aiming for another 50 years, but that would be nice. But I don't think we have.
Try.
Right, we're going to keep going.
Thank you, and again, I want to thank my son and son-in-law.
A little louder, please.
Oh, I just want to thank my family for helping put this together, and all of our friends for coming to share this moment with us. It's really a great pleasure to see everybody and to have been part of this community for so many years. And of course, people always ask us, what's the secret of you being together for 50 years, and what's the secret of a long marriage? And I'm going to quote a guy, Socrates, and he said that by all means you should get married, because if you marry a good wife, you'll have a wonderful time, and if you don't marry a good wife, you can become a philosopher. I'm not a philosopher.
You can say, well, let you guess which one he is. Thank you.
Thanks again, everybody, for coming.
And Jacob. Thanks, Jacob. My unsung hero grandson.
Okay, why don't you guys come on down?